letting you all come on. We're almost there. And Max, next time a little bit of zest when you say your name. Christina McCullough.
Will do, Karen.
Wonderful. Okay, guys, let's jump in. So, welcome everyone. This is our weekly Sunrider call. This is a call that we have designated for all of you to talk about the products and your experiences, what's working, maybe where you're struggling a little bit, questions you may have. And for all of us that have been using or consuming the products for a little bit, to step in and share our experiences. I'm Dr. Karen Spencer Dees, and I'm going to host tonight. My background's in the field of nutrition and biology. Those are where my doctorates lie. I have my thesis and my doctorate many, many years ago, and my specialty has been in hormones and in the endocrine system. I spent a long time at Stanford working with infertility. That is my background, and I double majored, guys, in children's nutrition. So I have a lot of expertise with allergies and kids and women. I wanted to share with you that we have a lot of you on tonight. A lot of you. I'm hoping we have enough lines. We might have to open this up a little bit more. But it looks like over 75 of you already are on, and that's wonderful. And that is kind of where we all have our common interest, which is we are all using or interested in the Sunrider products, and we all truly want to be well. And so I'd like to kind of start there. I'm going to give a little background on Sunrider, and then I'm going to ask a few of you to kind of jump in and share how your week's been, share a little bit if you've got any questions or some major testimony that you think somebody else might benefit from. I am loving watching Finn on Facebook Live with her experiences, and I know that a lot of you have been getting on and sharing. It's just wonderful, and all of your weight loss and your renewal to your health is spectacular. And I really want to say that there are some really good men's groups that are happening where there's a lot of really neat testimony that's happening in reducing cholesterol and in getting weight under control and sports fitness and the endocrine system for you. So give me one sec, guys, and I'm coming right back. Okay, so it's snowing here. I heard it's snowing in a few places. Just wanted to make sure that the doors were closed, the windows were closed here. And I wanted to start by saying that Sunrider for all of us is important. It is part of our life. It's not just a lifestyle, but it is really an integral part of our lives. And we are all using, consuming, sharing, because these products have made a difference one way or another, either in our lives or someone that we care about. And so I wanted to say that when you hear, for a lot of you that are new, someone step on the call and say, I've been with Sunrider for 30 years, and your eyes bug out, I want you to understand it's really because these products have been that life-changing. And so for all of us, I think that from a nutritional perspective, if we can look at this tonight, as we all will forever, right, until our last breath, eat, we will consume food, and we will drink and stay hydrated, our liquids. Sunrider is really first and foremost in the food and in the hydration. So when you hear someone use the expression, it's my first table food, or I hydrate with it, I want you to understand that they're mixing it with their water, and their water becomes even more hydrating, or they're eating it before their table food as what we call their first food, because it's so highly nutritious. And then once they eat and use their Sunrider foods, they can then ascertain much more easily what they're craving or what they're truly hungry for. And so I'm learning from a lot of you as you're all emailing me that some of the terminology is confusing to you. So I want to give a little bit more explanation. A lot of you stay quiet and you're not understanding what the terminology is. So again, when someone says that it's their first food, guys, Sunrider is food. It's just in a different form. So rather than looking like the carrot or the apple, it may be in a bar or in a shake or even in a vial with liquid in it or in capsules. But it's still in its whole food form, just as that carrot or that apple is. So the terminology of food, it may look a little different, but it's giving the exact same nutrition and it's still synergistically or intact. It just looks a little different, okay? And remember, guys, if you have questions, jump in and ask, right? All questions are good questions. So, Sunrider, as a lot of you know, I love to look through all of Sunrider's literature. And whether it's an old catalog or literature or something that's current, because there's always a gem that I find. And one of those gems that I found today was really exceptional. And that is in one of the catalogs. And it really had to do with the owner expertise. And I want to share that with you. Because when we look at why Sunrider is different, there are really 4 principles. One being a philosophy, the philosophy of what we call regeneration. If we give our bodies those whole foods I just talked about in the healthiest form, right, picked at perfection and the right variety of them, and then concentrate them where we actually can spray dry 10 carrots onto that 1 carrot and give it a super carrot potency, and you eat that, the body can do some miraculous things. It can heal itself, it can renew itself, and it can do something called regenerate itself, which means to make new again or young again. So think about that. If I were to be able to eat enough of the right food in the right combination, and it were really picked at the peak of perfection, what could my body really do? It could do a whole lot of recovering. Okay? And so principle 1 is this philosophy of regeneration by eating the best version of food. And that is what Sunrider is. The second is that Sunrider is all about whole foods, not chemicals. This is not about your medicine. This is about your food. The third is that we have to look at the right and correct ingredients to feed or fuel different systems of your body, whether it's feeding your skin, feeding your brain, right? Lowering your cholesterol, feeding your heart. Which are the correct ingredients that do that? And the 4th principle, which is really what I wanted to focus on, is who is brilliant enough, right, to figure all that out? And that is really the key. That is the Chen family. And Dr. Chen created Sunrider, my goodness, many, many years ago. Dr. Teifu Chen really was a sickly child, and his grandfather truly raised him on Chinese herbs. And he noticed within his own body, and I'm paraphrasing, okay? He noticed within his own young body that he felt better, and that his body began to do, what did we say? Repair itself, regenerate itself. And that was all done with correct nutrition, correct proportions, and enough of it, and in a way that could be digested. And it became his lifelong mission. And that's really how Sunrider began. The owner expertise really is the key to this 4th principle. And that is the balance of Doctors Teifu and Oilin Chen and the other Chen family. So I want to read to you something that I thought was terrific. And that is owner expertise. And as a doctor in this field, I am very particular about who owns a company, how products are grown, how they're manufactured, how they're harvested. All products are not equal. All foods are not equal, right? So, owner expertise. Sunrider's balanced fusion of East and West, this is important, is both a tradition and technology. That's what sets Sunrider apart. We have tradition and we have technology, and this stems from Sunrider's founders, Dr. Oilin Chen and Dr. Teifu Chen, who are experts in the field, guys, of health, nutrition, and science. Working with their parents, Dr. Reuben Chen applies his background to oversee business development and help formulate new products. He's also a doctor. And Eric Chen manages all aspects of the manufacturing facilities and the plants. This multi-generational expertise leads a team of scientists to design and create all of the Sunrider products. This is important that we have people at the helm that understand what these products are for, how they are grown, what the herbs or the nutrition is designed for, and then how to get them to you in a way that's still vital and alive. And to me, that's the key. How do you take something that's grown in the ground and actually get it to you, right, in a form that keeps it vital, active, and alive so that your body consumes it and then does something with it, converts it to fuel or regenerates. And that's what Sunrider's brilliance, all of their backgrounds, have been able to lend themselves to do. We are blessed with it. That's the gift. So it's not just, and that's really why I wanted to bring this to the forefront. A lot of you asked me, why are these herbs so spectacular? Why is it any different than if I go to Costco? Why would I buy vitamin C from Sunrider if I can just get it right off the shelf? That's why I wanted to share this with you. All vitamins, supplements, and foods are not equal just because they have the same name. They do not have the same, what we call, life to them. So if I were to pick something from the ground and give it to one of my children to eat, and I knew the care that went into it, and I knew that they would get energy from that nutrition, and their bodies would be stronger and healthier for it, that would be my choice. Versus if I went to the supermarket and bought a bag of carrots that possibly had been sitting on the shelf for 3 months, that were taking on a gray tinge, and when you ate them, there was no flavor. They're both carrots, but they're not equal. It's the exact same with Sunrider when you are comparing it to other companies. So please, everybody, okay, understand that all food is not the same food. And this is concentrated, meaning 10 carrots spray dried to the one. That one carrot, think about that again. All of these are grown organically. They are grown, think about this, they are grown at the peak of perfection. They are harvested properly. They are never tainted with anything such as aluminum. I think a lot of you know even their Cali tea. Everybody who is blessed to be in the field to pick them, that's actually multi-generational. They have families that do that. Only use bamboo. There's no tractors in the fields. They're not on trays, only on bamboo. They don't want to taint or alter the nutritional balance of the leaves. If you can think that every single ingredient that Sunrider is putting forth, they're putting that same amount of dedication to, you'll understand why we're all so loyal. Okay? Now, I want to also jump in here and ask, has anyone been using the foods that wants to share any of their experiences? Okay, so I want to ask for a second because I think that, Roberta, are you there?
Yes, I'm
Can
here.
you come off mute if you're there?
I'm here.
Wonderful. So I wanted to bring Roberta on for a moment. Roberta, would you just share your background and pick any product you want? It doesn't matter. I just want everyone to hear what you come to the table with your background, why Sunrider mattered to you, and what's been the gain for you. And then we're going to jump right into product.
Well, my background, I've been a registered nurse for 46 years. Went back to school and to become a holistic nurse, the board certified holistic nurse. Also went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and have a certification as a holistic health coach. And currently I'm studying at the School of Applied Functional Medicine. So that's
we have many hats.
Yes, many. Well, started back in 1996 when I was having a lot of issues with my endocrine system. And so I was praying that somebody would lead me to holistic nutrition because I knew as a nurse and working ER, you put a Band-Aid on it and send you home. And I just really got frustrated and said, there's more to this. And so anyway, I was introduced to Karen in 1996 and just started with the Nourish, Balance, and Cleanse. And then, of course, added some of the other foods in. And within 6 months, my body was totally, let's say, healed, I guess, back to normal where it should be. And it was healthy. So even though it took 6 months, I was glad anyway because, you know, things don't happen overnight. So it takes time. And so that's what I've been doing ever since then.
One of the reasons I love when Roberta speaks is, guys, I want you to see that everybody comes from a different background. And Roberta came, right, Roberta? I mean, Roberta was working in the hospital. She was an ER nurse. She was having her own health challenges. And really, it was surprising to me that nobody had ever introduced, right, Roberta? Whether it was Sunrider or the concept of holistic nutrition or anything to her. But once you started eating it, I watched you. Your body just gravitated towards it. And you ate. I really want to be clear about this. She started really basic and has stayed this way. And the amount of health benefits have been astounding. But it was Nourish, Balance, Cleanse. And we have a product called the Sun Pack. And you did what, Roberta? You did New Plus, you did Quinary, and you did Cali. Those were your 3 products, right? Every day?
Alpha 20C.
And and the extra Alpha 20C. Okay, so your cholesterol went down. What are some of the benefits you got?
Oh my goodness. My hormones, the whole endocrine system, everything was working. Is at one point in time, my androgens, which is a male hormone, which us females do have some, mine was right off the chart. And the doctor wanted to put me on birth control pills. And I said, absolutely not. I will not go on birth control pills. And so Sunrider, the foods really help all of my systems so everything works in harmony. You know, it's just like Dr. Chen always says, if you've got a cart and 5 horses, and one horse gets hurt and you have to pull that horse out, then you've got 4 other horses that are going to have to pull the one horse that's missing. So that's what the Sunrider foods did for me, got me back in balance. And a lot of you do know, and a lot of you don't know, that I was diagnosed with cancer back in 2 days before Christmas in 2019. And I ended up having to have 2 surgeries in 2020. And the last surgery was a humdinger. I was really sick. I was in the hospital for 9 days, came home for 2, and ended up in the hospital for 5 more. I had sepsis. I had an ileus in which my digestive system totally shut down and a blood clot in my lungs. And it was really hard because nobody could come see me. But thanks to my Sunrider family, I had Callie and Fortune brought in to me, and I also had the BioSafe brought in. And I really believe that that helped me to get over the hump so that I could be discharged and come home, and I continued. And have still continued to use it any day, faithfully.
And I want to say you have recovered beautifully. You are actually doing a Sunrider show coming up. Right? You're doing like a trade show. I mean, you have gone from being really, I've watched you. You are a firm believer, and Roberta really, I feel really blessed every time you say this. You believe so strongly that if you eat enough of the right food, your body will do what it's supposed to do. So why are you not eating them? That's pretty much what you always say. Just eat them. Just eat them. So Roberta's the example. She's eating enough of what she needs, and if she needs more, she eats more. And the reality is that her body keeps balancing itself out. And so I want to thank you, Roberta. I want to just let you see that Roberta came from a nursing background, understood, though, the importance of food, and has really applied it. And so for each one of us, if we are hungry and we're eating Sunrider, but we're not seeing the results, what do? Do what Roberta said, eat more. And as Roberta just said, sometimes it takes a little longer. But you've got to eat enough of it to make a difference. And so whether it's twice a day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, just as we feed our children, right? Or if it's a baby, or if you're hungry, right? And you skip a meal, you know that all of a sudden you backtrack a little bit. You've got to eat enough of the foods to stabilize your body so that it can do what it was designed to do, and not just constantly and chronically play catch up. So we don't need you skipping a meal, becoming hypoglycemic, right? And then we're playing catch up. Eat enough of it, as Roberta has, so that your body can actually take in enough and begin the regenerative process. But I love listening to Roberta because her big word is balance. Eat enough, your body will balance. Eat enough, your body will balance. Okay? Thanks, Roberta. So I wanted to share with you, thank you, sweetie. So I wanted to share with you that Sunrider has an amazing new system out, right? You've all seen it. It's called SunFit 321. And I encourage you to get right on Sunrider's website and take a look at it. It's wonderful, right? It offers everyone the ability to start simply, an easy path. And again, we want to keep this simple and not overwhelm you. At the same time, we want to give you enough so that it'll make a difference. One of the big concepts that has been going on over the past few months has been everybody who gained, right? That the COVID-19, or I keep saying COVID-20. So a lot of you have been emailing about your weight loss journeys, male and female. Some of you are struggling. Some of you are doing wonderful. I want to remind you, as Roberta said, everything takes time. It took a while to create this habit. It'll take a while to change the habit. But there has been, as I'm reading all of what you're writing, a missing link. And I want to touch upon it tonight. It's a missing link for a lot of you when it comes to weight, but it's also a missing link when it comes to digestive health. And even for those of you that have all sorts of imbalances, this is always the answer. Anyone know what it is? All right, I'm giving it to you. Mac, here's your theme. It's fiber. When we are eating in this country, we are known to not eat enough fiber. We tend to have all sorts of symptoms with our digestive system because we like to eat a lot of protein, right? And we like to eat a lot of starch. And even if we eat less starch, we still don't ever consume enough vegetables or fruits to actually get enough fiber in to do what we need to do, which is called digest. Remember, guys, protein, unless it's a vegetarian protein does not have fiber. So it requires it to move it through your body. And what fiber really does, think of it like this. Fiber is the broom and the dustpan, and it takes everything that the body doesn't need, and it takes it out. And so if that is extra body fat, it can be from high cholesterol. It can be for a lot of you. You've been on, whether it's birth control or a lot of antibiotics, we have a lot of stored debris, and it's stored in your digestive tract. What happens is you get either constipated or you get dried out, meaning that every time you take in some liquid, the body uses it immediately and you still feel dry. What fiber does is fiber moves all the nutrients through to where they need to go. Think of it as the transit. I always say it's the train. It takes all the nutrition, it moves it to the bloodstream, it moves it to the organs, it creates fuel, and then it does the additional role of like the dump truck. It carries all the waste out. So it has two really big functions. And if you're not taking in enough fiber, your transit time or your train is going really slow. And so even though you're taking in all this wonderful food, it's not actually getting where it needs to go fast. And sometimes if your dump truck, right, isn't working optimally, then that good food is sitting waiting for that waste to be moved out. And so there's a backup. And that happens constantly and chronically. And when that happens, a lot of you don't lose weight, you have indigestion, you have inflammation, you have a backup of toxicity. If we put in enough fiber, hear me on this, everybody, you will find that the transit time of that train of when you take in that food, how fast it digests, it will convert to fuel very quickly. Have you ever eaten something and you get tired instead of energized and you don't know why? It didn't digest properly. What happens when you take in enough fiber is you will have fuel from it, not sleepishness. Okay? You won't be sleepy. You will be energized. And all of those nutrients will get carried through the digestive tract and they'll go properly through the bloodstream to your organs. And you'll find, guys, you start to lose your weight. Your hormones actually function better. Did you all know your hormones require you to have optimum fiber for them to operate properly? So it's not just balancing the hormones, it's getting the fiber in so they do operate properly. You'll notice the belly fat decreases, male and female. You'll notice that there's a lot of research from the American Institute of Cancer Research that shows a high fiber intake reduces and can prevent types of cancer. You will notice, guys, that your mind is clearer. You think much more. I use this expression a lot. Like there is a lot of fresh air in your brain. There's more conciseness. You will find that your brain is more focused. That you don't feel foggy. Believe it or not, guys, all this comes from fiber. And then the last part is, as it moves all of the waste out, you will notice things like bloating decrease, indigestion decrease. The backup is gone. You'll notice the yeast infections decrease and inflammation goes down. So we lose weight, we are more energized, we're more active, our brains are more active, we reduce and we can prevent types of cancer and disease, our hormones function better. Now, here's my question. Why would we all not consume enough fiber? Well, we don't. Okay? So fiber is in your fruits and vegetables and some of your grains, but not in your proteins or not in your meat-based proteins. So the first is Fibertone. Sunrider actually has products that answer this question for you. So regardless of whether you're doing what Roberta did, which was NBC, the Nourish Balance Cleanse, add Fibertone. For some of you who are doing SunFit, who are working on losing the belly weight or the body weight or low in cholesterol, add Fibertone. For those of you that have inflammation, add Fibertone. Those of you that are constipated and using Assimilate and a lot of the Vitadophilus, add Fibertone. Sunrider states, get your fiber fix. Our ultra concentrated blend of both soluble and insoluble fiber, both fibers you need, the train, right, and the dump truck, keep your digestive system running smoothly while promoting healthy metabolism, right, increase in energy, decrease in body fat, and weight management. Oat bran aids digestion with 50% more fiber than oatmeal, while psyllium seed and flax seed combine to cleanse your system, reduce your appetite, and keep your cholesterol levels in check. Everything I just said, Sunrider just backed up. And that, everybody, is right on that product fact sheet, right on the Fibertone page. And again, this is one of those products that I am positive not everyone uses. Okay? So again, the highlights. It supports your digestion and your body's metabolic process, right? Think of that. It increases how quickly you burn your fuel and get energy while reducing the body fat. It promotes the healthy weight management. There's nothing in here. There's no added stimulants. There's no laxatives. There's no diuretics. And my favorite, if you look under the ingredient highlight, you will see two ingredients, one being that oat bran that they talked about, because a lot of times people will say, I don't like oatmeal. I do personally, but I don't like it. Well, oat bran and oatmeal are not going to have the same impact. So oat bran contains a soluble fiber that's been linked, guys, to lowering cholesterol. Everybody wants to lower their cholesterol, needs to be on Fibertone. It's not even a question mark. It's been linked to lowering cholesterol. The fiber in the oat bran can help you feel fuller for longer, which reduces the number of overall calories one consumes in a given day. Oat bran also contains these polyphenols, which are plant-based molecules that work as antioxidants to help reduce free radical cell damage. Basically, as we were talking about, prevent the cells from mutating or from creating disease. All from the oat bran and the Fibertone. And then the flaxseed. I know a lot of you add flaxseed to your smoothies and did not know there was flaxseed right here in Fibertone. Flaxseed is used as a healthful ingredient for thousands of years. Flax seeds are good sources of many nutrients, including the heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids, right? That is so important. In addition, they contain fiber and lignans, which are these phytonutrients that have both the soluble and the insoluble fiber. And when you hear those words, guys, soluble and insoluble, think of the train driving all the nutrients, and think of the dump truck getting rid of the waste. That's soluble and insoluble. Okay? And Sunrider states right here, which I think is important to conclude with this Fibertone, what are the health benefits of fiber? Because even though we may hear about it all the time, very few actually take in enough. And it says fiber does more than just keep you regular. The rough stuff can also help lower cholesterol, keep your blood sugar stable, and make it easier to manage your weight. Fiber increases the feelings of fullness, and therefore it'll support your weight loss journey. How do I use it? 1 to 2 capsules 3 times a day. Fibertone. Everybody add it to your already existing regimen. Product 1. I'm laughing because 2 of you just emailed me and said, I didn't know we had Fibertone. Yes, we do. We do. The second is a product that I love because it actually has Fibertone in it, and it's important, and that's our Sun Bar. And a lot of you like the Sun Bar. I'm just not sure you understand how important it is, so I want to tag on to it. The Sun Bar has Fibertone in it. It doesn't have a lot, but it has some. That's important to understand. So my philosophy for everyone who wants to reduce their body fat, help their hormones, right? Increase their metabolism, do Fibertone with the Sun Bar. These bars are important because these bars are the most regulated and balanced of the complex carbohydrates of the fibers, the complex carbohydrates, your fruits and vegetables, and a protein. This is a meal in a bar, and it's so balanced that it's almost shocking. I'm always astounded that they figured this out. But Sunrider states that the Sun Bar gives you everything you want in a food bar. You'll never have to buy another bar again. This is it. It's got, we know, great taste, but it's balanced. And that was Roberta's word, balanced. When we have bars that have too much protein, we don't have enough fiber. So the body cannot break that bar down. And it becomes like a clump in your digestive tract that doesn't digest properly. We need to have the balance in there, okay? Sunrider states that it's a balanced nutritional bar without the bad stuff. And it's made with what we call Nu Plus, which is our foundational product that's part of NBC, which gives you all the nutrients and the nutrition that you may lack during your day, and also helps regulate your body system. There's no artificial sweeteners or colors or preservatives, and there's no sugar. They use something called Sunnydew in here, which is the stevia rubodiana root, which regulates blood sugar and just happens to be sweet. And so I want you all to kind of know that not only does our ingredient regulate your blood sugar, but it also, because it's antifungal, antibacterial, it helps to kill all of those, all of that yeast and all of those little bacteria that give you viruses or create the bloat and the dissension in your digestive tract. It's the perfect combination, guys, of the right vegetables that are in here to give you the antioxidants and the minerals, and then also the right protein. And this is the protein that they use in here is a tofu protein. And this tofu protein is not an isolated soy protein. This is fermented whole tofu. And so for those of you that like it, this bar works for you. This is wonderful. The key here, though, is that we're looking to give you the best food possible with enough fiber in it so that your systems, guys, if your digestive system is not working properly, no matter what you do, you will not digest, absorb, and get the benefit. So we have to be able to move the nutrients through. At the same time, we have to put something in called a probiotic and a prebiotic. That's that good bacteria. I love to say that good bacteria actually gets to eat the bad bacteria that causes the yeast and the viruses. And so when we're adding a lot of fiber in the digestive tract, we also have to add the good bacteria to balance it out and help it work the best way possible. And especially when you guys are using your fiber and you're having bowel movements, right? Or you're losing weight, especially when you're losing weight or you're balancing your hormones, you'll notice sometimes you will feel bloated. That's because it's removing, it's a cleanse, it's removing all things that if the debris it doesn't need. You put the probiotic / prebiotic, it's called Vitadophilus, in. So now we have, with our program, Fibertone, Sun Bar, and Vitadophilus. We put in enough of the right fibers, we put in enough of the good bacteria, and guys, your weight will come off much easier, your hormones will regulate much more effectively, you'll reduce and possibly prevent some pretty serious disease. And you'll notice two other things. Your skin clears up and your bloat goes way down. But here's the clincher, guys. When you are adding your fiber tone, I need you to remember something. When we put in more fiber, whether it's in the bar or it's in the capsules of fiber tone, we need to add more fluid so that we have something to carry out, right? All of the waste. We need the fluid to help move all that nutrition and fiber through, and we then need it to carry the waste out. So now you're going to be energized, you're going to feel better, inflammation goes down, but the waste comes out. All right, this is a regulation, kind of a protocol. What do we use? Fortune Delight. Fortune Delight is fiber's best friend. This is true. It acts like a magnet. So when you are hydrating your water with your Fortune Delight and you are drinking it, that fiber is attracted to it. And that Fortune Delight will literally, like a magnet, carry out all of that waste that all this good fiber is helping to move through. And that Fortune Delight also, like a magnet, will carry all of that good nutrition from the fiber to your organs, through your bloodstream, and hydrate. So the protocol is easy, but as I've learned, very few are doing it. Okay, so I'm going to one more time go over some of this information, and then I'll open it up for all of you to talk. Fiber, right? And for those that just asked, really from a nutritional perspective, you need 25 solid grams of fiber every day. And that would look like 2 really good salads and 2 apples, okay? That would be for those of you that are looking what 25 looks like. And I would say I would add something like a big bowl of brown rice. So every day, I want you to think about that for a minute. Does everyone eat like that every day? And if the quality of the food is not wonderful, the fiber goes down. So sometimes what happens is in order to get enough fiber in our food, we have to overeat. This allows us to undereat while getting the fiber and then fill us up so that we can then be picky about what is the best food choices that we can make now. All right, fiber tone reduces cholesterol, reduces inflammation, acts as the train that carries all the good nutrition, right, through our digestive tract and helps get it to our organs and through our blood, so that it can do all of these wonderful things like potentially reduce metastasizing of cells like with breast cancer. Second is it helps us with our colon. And if your gut's healthy, you're healthy. And we need to keep that gut clean and everything moving through it so it then carries out the waste. That's your fiber tone. You will lose your body fat. You'll notice that your cholesterol goes down, and you will notice that fogginess in your brain. Anyone who's ever been constipated knows what it feels like to feel foggy, right? Swollen and bloated. All of that will go down. Drink ample Fortune Delight with it. The second is if you want to replace a meal or you'd like to use your Sunbars as a snack, as a meal replacement, go for it. And there's a serving of fiber tone in your bar. The third is we want, as we're moving all this waste out, is we want to infuse our body now with the good bacteria so that we can now build our gut health back up as the fiber is helping us, and that is with Vitadophilus. That is the best prebiotic and probiotic on the market. It is, so those of you that know, one of the only ones you'll find dry because it's alive and living in the apple pectin. When you chew it, you break it down in your mouth, but it's active and alive up until the moment you chew it. That's spectacular. And then last but not least, guys, Fortune Delight. When we increase our fiber, we have to increase our fluid so that we move everything through us to where it needs to go, and for our health benefits and also to cleanse our bodies out. All right, questions, comments, thoughts, fiber.
Dr. Dees, it's Margie.
Yes. Oh, hi, Dees.
It's funny because this week, or last week, I haven't had a physical or haven't had anything, any complaints. I've been in Sunrider for a long, long time, but it's funny because I go with my husband, we get our annual checkup. For me, it was like 3 years ago. So I finally go get a checkup, and I was kind of worried about my blood work. In my family, I have my dad died young of diabetes. I had a brother die young of diabetes. My grandpa died young. It's just there's a lot of that kind of, and then there's cancers on the other side. And anyway, I was just really, going, oh, I wonder how this, you're kind of worried. And then because we've all been kind of off of our routine and kind of not doing what we normally do in the year. So I'm like, oh no, it's not going to be very good. Well, he had compared my blood work from 3 years ago to that, this time. And I couldn't believe, and you know what was the difference? Everything was good. Like all my cholesterol, everything was good. In fact, lower than it was 3 years ago. And I'm, going to be 66 this year. And I was like, this is really weird because I really, didn't know what I did add Fibratone on a regular basis over this last probably year and a half, probably. And I hadn't before. I mean, I would take it every once in a while, but I wasn't regular with it. And it's so funny that you bring that up today because it was really amazing. And my husband doesn't necessarily take the Fibratone like I do, and he's the one who's really fit, skinny, and ugly. His cholesterol was up. Not bad, but just it's still normal, but it was up. That's what I thought was just because we eat the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I was just, but he's not as regular with some of the stuff as I am. I'm really regular with it. So I noticed that with the Fibratone, and I know that it helps with not gaining a bunch of weight because I was still the same. It was just a really cool thing to be reassured that what I'm doing is working and that Sunrider is really keeping me healthy, and I don't have to sit there and stress about it with all the problems going around. So I don't know. I just great. What you brought up today was just very, very reassuring. Thanks.
I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad, and I know you've worked really hard at this consistency, and it does show in the blood. It really does, and I'm hoping your husband you'll tell him, just get on Fibratone, and it's simple. It's not complicated.
Tell you what I said. My doctor said to me, oh, you're really lucky. I said, luck has nothing to do with it. I said, I have bad genes on both sides. I have to work very hard. And he had to admit that, what I've been doing, he's been my doctor forever. And it's same with my husband. He was my husband's doctor and his brother's doctor, and they both passed away. And he's like, they had really bad problems. That's why I can't even believe you're in the same family. So I know, and he knows. I work very hard at this. It's very different.
I'm so glad it reassured you that what you're doing is truly making a long-term difference in your body, and I hope you'll use it as a stepping stone to really share that with other people. That I mean, I've always eaten this. I knew it was good for me, but I got really consistent with these few products, and wow, this really changed because certain things are common denominators for everyone, like cholesterol, right? People can be thin and active and still have high triglycerides, or their LDLs are up, their HDLs are down, and there are some simple things that we can do, but we just don't know what to do. And so you've been doing so many amazing things, but I am so glad to hear you threw Fibratone in your mix, and your labs are good. Good job, girlfriend. Good job.
Dr. Dees?
Yes.
This is Alea. I have a question about somebody with Crohn's disease, which I understand is a disease of the intestines. Wouldn't this program work to bring them to balance?
So, what I will always say when somebody has a condition like that, first and foremost, I'm not exactly sure where this person is in their life or their health. So this program is wonderful, but sometimes it's always better to start at the beginning with everybody, with NBC. Okay, because if we put in with too much of let's say fiber, and they're in an inflammatory situation with their Crohn's, I don't want to activate symptoms for them. What we're looking for with everybody is that if we give them the right balance, such as a sun pack, and let their bodies calmly start to build themselves back up, then they can put in the fiber tone and the sun bar. But I think that NBC is a much calmer, healthier place to begin.
I kind of figured that. I have a story I want to share about the fiber tone. I've eaten it, 2 a day, 2 at a meal. But because of my inactivity for a year and a half, I was not doing well with my intestines, and I was going from one extreme to the other with diarrhea and constipation. And my daughter told me, Mom, eat 3 of them last thing before you go to sleep, and eat 3 of them first thing when you get up in the morning. And since I've been doing that, I am regular and my intestines are working.
Okay, testimony of the year. Everybody hear this? Because this is a question everybody asks, right? Which is, I'm constantly constipated, or my bowels are not happy. This is a wonderful testimony before bed and upon waking. And if you want, add a Vitadophilus with it.
Yes,
the Vitadophilus, right? Before bed and when you wake.
Yep.
And your stomach feels good?
It does. The change is phenomenal.
Wow. See, that's the kind of experience that is life-changing, because it occupies your mind all day long. I don't feel great. My stomach hurts, right? I'm in the bathroom. And instead, now you have energy and your digestive tract is working beautifully. I love that testimony. Yay! Good fiber story.
Right, Karen? Jackie?
Yes, hi, sweetie. Hi, sweetie.
I just have a quick question. What's your opinion about the fiber tone and the Vitadophilus for people who have yeast problems? What's been your experience with that?
As long as they are drinking ample Fortune Delight with ample Sunny Dew or Sun Nectar in it, I like it. And I've got to be honest, I throw some Chinese Golden Seal with it. I like the fiber tone with the Vitadophilus for them. You're breaking up on me, so I can't hear you. Say it again.
Oh, I was just saying, thanks, Karen. I think there's a lot of people who have that problem. I just wanted your expertise.
Yeah. Honestly, Jackie, I've seen really good results.
Dr. Dees, I have a question.
I'm right here. Go for it.
Okay. I have added, in the past, I've added fiber tone into my diet. And it seems I eat a really good diet. I eat salads every day. I eat spinach breakfast. And I'm wondering if it's too much fiber, and I don't know if that's possible, because when I do eat it, my bowels are normal most of the time. But when I do eat it, they get really loose.
So again, because Sunrider's concentrated, for you may not need as much. That's true, because listening to you do eat a very healthy diet. It's possible. So there'd be nothing wrong with, I wouldn't eliminate it, but you can definitely cut it back. When we are looking at these foods, guys, I always want you to remember the concentration piece of it, because depending on your size, depending on how you eat, your lifestyle, sometimes you need less than someone else. Sometimes you need more. That's all good. That's fine.
Okay,
Let us know how you do.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right, Donna, Marlene, you want to jump in and let everyone know about tonight? sweetie?
So that was very cool. I just never talked about fiberstone that much at class, and I learned a lot. So I appreciate that, especially for the weight lossers, because we never talked about fiberstone. Cholesterol. Like that's really good. So our call follows this, obviously, and we hope as many of you as possible can get on it. And then tonight is the hero call for all heroes and above. So we look forward to seeing you there too.
Awesome, guys.
Right after our call.
Get on Donna and Bob's call after this. If you do not have the number, go to the Rising Star page on Facebook, and you will see it. I'm going to jump on there too, and they give some wonderful, wonderful advice, direction. You will find a lot of team support for everybody who's interested in sharing it, building a business with this, sharing it like I do in my practice. This is the right call to be on. All right, everyone. Hope it helped. Hope everyone feels wonderful. Thank you all for sharing. And I have to just shout out to Roberta. Thank you for getting on and sharing. And happy birthday, Lisa Powers. All right. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.